everyone, so today's makeup date is going to be a little bit different. I will be doing my usual makeup date where I talk about my recent ins and also my recent outs. But I will actually be starting off today's makeup date with the Project Pan tag. I haven't really seen too many other people do it since it started circulating. I think it was maybe September sometime. It was September, maybe it was earlier than I can't remember. But basically, it was a oh goodness, I already forgot her name. I'm so sorry, but there was a UK project panner who started this Project Pan, and then she invited some other people into it too, and then from there, I don't know how many other people have done it, but I was intrigued by the questions, and I was kind of wrote down some stuff, but just like didn't pull it out until now. So I want to take the chance to do it. So let's jump in before I get too before I start rambling, because I already have been. I will be doing my makeup while I talk about through this stuff, and I'll be looking at notes at the same time, so my eyes will be shifting everywhere. But I am actually a little bit under the weather. I don't know if you can hear it or not. I feel it. I'm a little like clogged up in my nose. But I was like, I haven't done my makeup today. I might as well throw some on and talk through some of these things. So, no sniff first. So the first question is, how long have I been in project panning? I'll try to also show the products I'm using, but I won't like go too in depth with them. The first question in this tag is, how long have I been project panning? So I know that I started a lot of my project panning content, at least what you can see, is about a little over a year ago, I think in September last year. But I actually found the project panning community over a decade ago. I think I just started college and realized that I really didn't have a great relationship with makeup. I felt really challenged in that way, especially like as a Christian and just like as a student. I was just like, I really can't be wasting my time with this stuff. Like, is there a community out there that can help me with this? And I kind of came across project panning. So that was I started seeing some videos, but like OG project panners, Amber F, Courtney K, Meg's makeup. I think maybe she went by Megfish8. Pretty Pistol is 84, 86 maybe. LS, like all of those are like ingrained in my head as like OG project panners. I watch all their stuff. I would look them up by name, and a few of them I follow today and watch and stuff like that. So this is the primer I just used, and I loved it. I wasn't posting videos on my own. I did post some stuff, but it wasn't really around like hardcore project panning. It was more like the tag videos that were going on around at the time, like 5-minute face, $20 face, 10-minute face. Did some like hauls and whatnot, that type of stuff where it wasn't all that. Actually, I have a new little pan in this. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Right there. That was my goal. But yeah, it was one of those things where I love the community, and I knew that was the mindset that I needed towards my makeup, but I wasn't like actively like posting about it. I think I did post about like a beauty budget type of thing. But yeah, I wasn't like, there wasn't such thing, I think, as like a panning game, these types of things. I think there was already like pan that palette, and talking through empties, like makeup empties was my jam and still is. And it was just really exciting to discover this community. I also discovered Makeup Rehab on Reddit, and actually became really, really engaged with that community. Still on there now, actually a mod. I don't disclose that very often, but now it's out in the world to know. But it's been something where it's been really fulfilling for me. And it's just such a cool community to be a part of. I think especially since I wasn't posting on YouTube, like posting on Reddit was really a great way to keep myself accountable. And this is a bronzer mix that I made. It's more of like my underpainting bronzer. But anyways, yes. So that's pretty much my kind of panning history. Is, I think I wrote in my notes here that I did make a products I've hit pan on, which is another one of my favorite type of videos. I think I did that one 8 years ago. It might actually still be on my channel. That won't be one of the ones that I posted on my channel. And I did also have another video on my channel that was about taking apart an eyeshadow palette, like with floss. I think that one also stayed up on my channel. All right, so number two, the question number two is the favorite product that I've ever panned. Ever is a long time. I even like went through my Instagram history because I did have kind of a backlog of things that I panned, and like, you know, there's definitely a few standouts in terms of like products that are like OG panning products for me. But I think one that I think is one of my first Franken eyeshadows and one of the first eyeshadows that I loved so much was a eyeshadow that I dubbed Gemesis because it was a mix of Stila Oasis and Anastasia Beverly Hills, just labeled as ABH Gem, which I actually just rebought the Gem eyeshadow, and I actually still the Oasis eyeshadow actually came from this little compact here. Like, I still have so many memories from that, and yeah, just have really good memories of that. That was one of the first eyeshadows that I like organically finished, and one of my first Frankens. Like, it just holds a lot of special memories for me. All right, number three, the most frustrating pan I've ever completed. It seems kind of boring, but like, I think more categorically, like foundations are somewhat frustrating for me. And any anything that's in a stick, really. I don't really love using things in stick form, I realize. I don't know why I bought so many lipsticks because those are all sticks, but those take so long, and like I end up just frankening them somehow. Brush soap is another one. At least my original brush soap was really difficult to get through. I think it had like the elf one. Those were just like, it never ends. Yeah, that's usually my feeling towards it. Like, no like hate panning. It's just like, I don't mind you, but being a panner, I want to see things gone sooner than later. So that is what I would say is the most frustrating thing. Foundation mix. All right, question number 4 is a product that got the better of me and I couldn't finish. This was one of my OG palettes. I think I bought this palette for my birthday, like way back when, like over a decade ago. It was a Laura Mercier palette. She doesn't even make, that brand doesn't even make palettes anymore. And I think that one was the one that I kind of dedicated as my pan that palette. I wasn't posting anywhere, but that was the one where I was like, I really want to see if I can do this pan this palette thing. And I'm realizing, like, even just this year, I'm realizing, like, oh, the reason I like I couldn't finish that and I got so frustrated was because I just don't do dark eyeshadow shades. Like, they just don't, like, I'll put a little tiny bit on, but not enough to finish it by any means. And of course, like, a palette is often like 50%, if not over 50%, like either dark or colorful eyeshadows. So there's only like the one or two that I really would regularly use, and of course those are the ones I finish. So I think, like, yeah, dark eyeshadows I'll probably never be able to finish and still won't finish. The one I'm a little bit sad about is also MAC Soft and Gentle. I heard there was huge hype around it, right? Like about a decade ago. And I recently got one for myself, I think within the last 3 years. And once I swatched it, I was just so sad. I was like, this is not the product for me. I am so disappointed. And so I ended up giving it away, and I really honestly did try to make it work as an eyeshadow, as a mix in for like my Franken powder. Like, I just couldn't make it work, and so I just gave it away because it was not the right shade for me. But it was one of those things where it's like, oh, a lot of the things that got the hype and that were trending way back when was because a lot of the YouTubers back then were a little bit paler than me. And so like those shades worked really well for them, but not for me. And I'm still like learning that about the way I think about trends and about typed up products, and to do my best to not fall for those, or at least go and swatch and test before I purchase them, because more often than not, I do end up being pretty disappointed by some of the things that I end up picking up. All right, number 5. A product that I thought would be easy was actually hard. Honestly, anything that's mineralized, like baked. I have gone through multiple like MAC mineralized skin finish naturals, but when I recently got some like baked products, I couldn't believe how difficult it was to make it through. Like, I have one baked product right now that I'm working on, and I'm just like, oh, this product is so slow. And you guys have seen me try to work through my hourglass powder recently too, and it was just like this, there's no movement on that. I think it's something has to do with the dome, because I'm one that likes to try to hit pan fast, and like the dome shape just is not conducive to that. I mentioned a little earlier before, but lipsticks, I don't know why, but I felt like I was going through lipsticks really fast just a few years ago, and then now it's like slowed down a lot. And so now it's really hard. Really, really hard. Actually, I'm going to use this blush now. Let's see, number 6, a product that I thought would be hard, but was actually easy. I was so scared of lip gloss. Just even like 2 years ago. And then around the time that I started this channel, September, October, was when I really got my first lip glosses. And I couldn't believe how fast I could get through a lip gloss. I was shocked. And since then, I have gone through so many lip glosses. I am so proud of myself. Of course, that's meant like some of my other products have gone on the wayside, but it's so easy just to like fly through one for me now. And I'm always so impressed by how quickly I can get through some stuff in my contour topper. And yeah, I think it's one of those things where I'm like, wow, this is, can I call this my makeup superpower? I would like to. I actually have 2 or 3, like, I have 2 empty lip gloss tubes right now that I'm waiting to show update for Project Pan, and then I have one that's, I'm flying through it in my purse, and so really, really excited to show you guys that one. All right, number 7, my favorite Project Pan series. Honestly, one of the huge reasons why I started back on YouTube and posting more frequently was deck of panning. I got so excited about it that as I was preparing to post for my channel, I even got a custom deck of cards. Like, I was honestly, Emily, if you're watching this, you did a great job with that project, and just following everybody over the last 3-ish years has been so exciting to me, and I like just couldn't miss out. I really couldn't. So that was a huge reason that actually got me posting on this platform, and then and actually like makes me post consistently, and it's not just like a one-off about like, oh, my makeup budget, like here it is, or about like, you know, products I've hit pan on, right? That's like a once a year thing, if not maybe twice. But yeah, it's definitely got me thinking about, okay, how can I be posting regularly around, you know, the schedule, right? All right. Oh, and of course I have to mention, why wouldn't I? Based off of my love of deck of panning, I was like, is there any other way that, you know, like project panning can be gamified? And so, and once I was inspired by a custom Monopoly board during vacation this summer, that's how I came up with my game, Project Monopoly. If you haven't seen it yet, I have my intro videos on my channel, and still kind of in the soft launch phase, but honestly, a lot of people have picked it up. I'm really grateful for everybody's support, and it's just kind of on the same vein, right? Like, randomizing is really fun for me, just like luck of the draw, rolling dice, you know, you just never know what you're gonna get, and I think that is, for me at least, the fun of project panning games. Like, I try to have so much control over other areas of my life, but to just, for makeup for me, is to have fun, relax, not be in so much control, and that's also why I like to pick products, if I can, like with you guys, and so that way it's, you guys can like see my thought process. I don't have to think too long or too hard or overthink things, because that's really easy for me to do in real life. And so yes, Project Monopoly, would love for you to check it out, and honestly has been really, really fun. All right, number 8, one product type that I will always include in my project pans. I feel like a lip product always shows up. I'm always thinking about a lip product, and it's just like, what is, like, I have a whole little like lip dedicated tray here, right? So it's like always in front of me, versus I have basically like one of everything else that's out in my everyday like makeup kit that's over here. But yeah, lips, I let myself have a lot of them out in front of me. Part of it is because it's also the product that I gravitate towards for purchasing. And so to have them in front of me and have a constant reminder of like, you have a lot of lip products to go through. Like don't give yourself another one. Also, it's like, if this one's full, like I really don't have space for another one. So like I need to wait until a space opens up kind of thing. So I'm like a very visual person in terms of keeping track of things. And I just, yeah, lip products is now, especially with lip gloss, that I realize now is something that I really enjoy using. It's just become something that I always try to include, at least one of the things that I am working on. All right, number 9 is a product that I'm currently struggling on, but I'm sticking with it. Oh, it's actually this side base is what I would like to mention, is just that one's the MAC Paint Pot and Groundwork, and man, it is gonna be long hauling, but I'm sticking to it. It's honestly a great base, and yeah, I just can't let go of it. It's not something, it's hard to Franken, right? Like any cream eyeshadow product. And that one's kind of like my workhorse and my tried and true, and yeah, all the things. I don't know if I'm ready to put it into Holy Grail status yet. But it's definitely like very, like, yeah, very dependable. It's easy for me to use and all that stuff. So, like one of those things where I'm like, this is one of the most perfect shades for me. And it's hard, it's always hard to let go of that when you find something that is a great shade on you, and it just works and complements everything that I end up putting it under. All right. So number 10 is one tip or hack that I use in my project pans. And the big one for me and a big thing on my channel is Frankening. I love it. I actually just did a huge Franken session last night. It was an hour long. And I did film it. Not in real time. I ended up doing kind of like a time lapse thing. So I'm hoping to post that up and stuff like that. But I Franken like 12 shadows last night, and it wasn't just shadows. Like some of them were like larger pans too. And it's just so fun for me to have that end of the creativity too, of creating my makeup, like not actually like in a lab or something, but I think just having another angle towards my makeup. When I was doing it actually last night, I was like, oh boy, I feel like I'm pouring so much powder into this pan and I have to use it, right? And especially I think part of it too is once you Franken something, at least for me, I'm locked in. Like I have to figure out a way to use it up. Like maybe not in the form that it's in, like, but at some point it'll either get Franken further, but I'll have to figure it out, or maybe I'll get so sick of it. I don't know. But yeah, I think one, it gives new life to products. Like I mentioned before, like dark eyeshadows are so difficult for me to finish, but Frankening allows me to customize it a little bit to what I believe would work better for me. It's not always the case, but often it is. And yeah, I think it just makes products for me like so much easier to use. I don't have to be constantly mixing stuff, right? Like 2 or 3 foundations, because I have like a mixing medium plus 2 shades of foundation that I'm pretty much using right now. But when I mix it into this little bottle, it's good to go for as long as it takes me to use that up. And of course, I love the process of upping it up, or like I lose face powder. I just mixed this yesterday and I can customize it to kind of the shade that I am at any point of the year, and give it properties that maybe other face powders won't. Like I mix in a powder sunscreen every time I make my loose face powder. It's probably not a lot of sunscreen, but part of me is like, how else would I use my powder sunscreen, right? And not only Frankening, I think, actual like products in terms of the mix and like just powders or creams or whatever, but even the packaging, right? Like my mascara, like this is a Franken packaging essentially. The cap of it came from a different package, and then the bottom came from something different. I just love to be creative in that way and just think about like, how can I optimize my makeup application and not make it difficult for myself, because once something becomes difficult, I almost immediately lose interest in that product. And it's just something that I will stand by, and people also seem to like that content. And I think too that frankening helps me realize, like, oh, there's like, I'm often repackaging things, or I'm analyzing my products because I don't like this certain aspect. So I shouldn't be buying products that have that, right? So for instance, like, oh man, what's a good one now? Because I'm just like, well, I always have a solution for something, so it's hard for me to know exactly how to say this. I think things in squeezy tubes, right? Like, this one came in a kit, so I didn't really have much control of this, but I would much rather my lip glosses come in one of the doe foot applicators, which I just use, so like more like a traditional doe foot applicator. I would prefer it like this, but now I'm just like, I can buy these because I know how to franken it into one of these. So it's not that big of a barrier, but I think if it was like a standalone, like I really didn't have an opportunity to franken anything, like I really shouldn't pick up one of these because I will not gravitate towards using this. So that type of mindset. And of course, like, another like a big tip that I'm trying to practice right now, especially as I'm going into the holidays, is just to take a break. Like, take a break from project panning. Like, progress is always good, and like steady progress is even better. But when I'm burnt out, or when I'm sick of something, or if I'm only clinging onto one thing because I need to finish it for whatever reason, like, that is a reason I gave to myself, not to anyone else. No one's pushing it on me, right? Like, the way I use my makeup is how I want to use it, and that will ultimately always override whatever project panning goals I have. So I'm not afraid to like double dip when it comes to project panning, in terms of using like a product twice, just to encourage myself to use things, or take a product out of a project pan because I've already frankened it, or have like made it better, or have let go of it for whatever reason, right? So I'm not afraid of kind of just mixing things up, because it helps me streamline my life better. So anyways, I think that is pretty much the entire tag. Honestly, anybody else who wants to share about this stuff, like, please. I will be linking the original Project Pan tag, and I think there might be a playlist. I will be linking all that stuff below, because I'm sorry I don't remember your name, the person who created this, but thank you so much for bringing this back. Like, tags are OG project panning community type of thing, and I love to participate in this type of stuff. I didn't get to, I feel like, the first time it rolled around, because I like wasn't really posting yet, but this stuff is really, really fun to me. I'm actually already thinking of another tag, but I think I just need to let it rest. All right, now let's actually jump into my ins and outs. I don't have, I kind of, do I have any ins right now? I don't think so. I think the last makeup date was the big in, because I was traveled and then brought a ton of stuff in. I kind of have some ins because I franken a ton of stuff, so I'll show you the final product, but I will be posting a short. It might be a short, it might actually be a video on how I created all these, and yeah, just kind of like reflections on that. Okay, so I think I don't know if I ever showed this out. This was a pharmacy. Oh, I still have some stuff in here. Okay, so it's not an out, but I need to put this back. I ended up emptying this pharmacy moisturizer, and I think I got about half of it into a different container so that I can kind of use it on the go. So I need to put this in a place where I'll actually use it. Not sure why I was in there. So anyways, sorry. Okay, so the big empty and the big reason for the frankening that I did was because I'm officially retiring my honeysuckle palette. I managed to actually pop the base out and clean this whole thing out. So not an organic pan, but it is very nice to see this all empty and honestly accounted for. I think I was so close while I was frankening to be like, let me just get rid of these dark eyeshadows. Some of it did go down the drain because, you know, when you're frankening, you make a mess. Let's just pop the package back in here. But yes, I did my best to actually somehow use all the dark shades. There was like a lot. There was at least like 4 or 5. Yeah. And it was just something where I was like, oh, what do I do with these? And so given my like advanced frankening skills, not really. Oh my god, goodness, there is still powder everywhere in these. I was like, I'm gonna make my best attempt to at least make it a little bit more usable. So this is probably, is this all newly pressed eyeshadows? I think so, yes. So I challenged myself with my deck of panning to, because I got the prompt, like most recent purchase, and I got this insert inside here. It actually pops out like that. So I bought the insert. That was brand new for me. And I was like, well, I need to Franken stuff anyway, so I might as well just use insert. So this is 5 of the shades that I created. As you can see, there's up here, there's like a multicolored one, which I think is really cool. The shimmery ones are really easy for me to make, of course. And then these dark ones were definitely a bit more challenging. Sorry. Let me hide behind here. And they look kind of lumpy because I ended up dry pressing, which, like, I have mixed feelings about. I think for me it is one of the better options. I'll swatch a few of them here for you, but honestly these are never going to be good swatches, and some of them still ended up the ones I ended up creating still ended up being super dark, but not as dark as they were before, and I think something that I could work with. But it is a lot of product to work through. Like when I was like pouring it into the pan, I was like, oh boy, this is gonna take a long time. And yeah, I'm just really excited about these. And some of these are warmer and cooler, which is how I wanted them. And I think I am hoping that I will figure out a way to incorporate these into projects next year. That one might be the same shade. This one looks a little different. Oh, this one's just a repress. Okay, that one's kind of boring. That's fine. A really subtle highlighter there. Oh, this one's gonna show up. This is actually the ABH Gem. That one was the one I mentioned in my tag. That was like OG and not something I frankened yesterday, but it is so pretty. I love myself a subtle one here. And like, I don't know, I'm starting to really experiment with my dry presses. Basically it means that you're not using alcohol to actually press your eyeshadow. And I can't say that it's like the most perfect press, and it always feels super like, it feels super fragile. Actually that's a really nice shade. I'm gonna look forward to that. But I did end up like pressing some translucent powder in there, just to like really sheer it out, and I think it worked. I'm really happy with that shade actually. Of course, this is one of my first times swatching these. And then this, I think, will be how my palette will start for my Pan That Face and Eye palette, I guess. So let me rearrange something in here. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. These are always so prone to falling out just because I haven't actually magnetized everything in here. So, but yeah, this is like kind of split with one side with the insert and then one side with these powders. And so, yeah, this is a split pan that I did last night, which is really cool. And then this one is a really cool like rusty one right there. Yeah, like super light. Like I'm so honestly light-handed with some things, and of course some things already have pan in here because some of these aren't things that I frankened last night. But yeah, it was really cool. I frankened 12 shades altogether. I think I have one more in here. This was I pressed some things into the sleek palette because it's just easier to hold like bulkier shades and presses. And unfortunately this one, I don't know if this is a crack or not. I did learn last night that trying to press more shadows over something that I just dry pressed doesn't work. So I learned that and made a few mistakes, but I think that might actually just be, yeah, it doesn't look like it's actually cracked. I think it's just because I tried to put more blush on top and it didn't work. So that's the blush color, and I think is a lot more wearable than the original shade, which was this one that's in this palette. Like this one's a good bit more red. I hope I'm not muddying up my swatches here. But yeah, it's a good bit more red, so I might end up repressing the one in that palette. But yeah, I'm honestly overall really happy with how these turned out. And it was funny too because I could tell when I was frankening that I was kind of just using like leftovers from the previous press, because I would always have a little bit left over, into my next press. And so I wasn't surprised when some of my shades turned out so similar. But at the same time, that's the type of eyeshadow I use. It's really similar. One shimmery, one deeper shade, and I'm good to go. So I was like, I'm not mad about that. The blushes were interesting, to be honest, to make. Those are always trying to just figure out the tonality of it is really cool. So Anyways, I think that's it for this update. This one's a long one, so thank you so much for sitting through this. But I really just want to take the time to do the tag and then to also update you guys about, especially my Frankenshadows. But otherwise, my makeup, like, empties has been really slow these last few months, and I think I just have to be okay with that, and not be disappointed in myself. I'm close on a few things, really excited about that, but I do need to continue to make, like, headway kind of behind the scenes. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.